8 o'clock on the nipple. I've checked out, I'm on my way. And let's see, I made my sign earlier. Let's see if I can get my sign out for you. Balado. So that's the first time I've got to write south on a sign. I have a hunch south is going to be easier than north. I don't know why, I just think that you're gonna have more people going towards Sapporo, and you're gonna have more people going towards like the Ferry Terminal in southern Hokkaido. Then you're gonna have more people going towards Tokyo and stuff. I just feel like that's gonna be an easier thing, but maybe I'm just being delusional. Not that it was difficult getting north, like it really wasn't. I just, for some reason, think I'm gonna be able to cook some bacon moving south, and that's kind of I think that's what I've decided I'm gonna do. I might end up stopping someplace in Hokkaido on the way south, but I think it depends on how things time out and how I feel. I'm thinking about trying to be back in Tokyo in a couple days, which is a pretty tall order to get all the way south. I think it's gonna take me 2 days to get all the way to the ferry terminal in Hokkaido. If I had my own car, you can drive there in 8 hours, but to make that hitchhiking could be a challenge, especially starting where I'm starting. And then I think it could be 2 days hitchhiking from Aomori, where I think I will end up on the ferry down to Tokyo. Again, that's doable in a day, and maybe on the speedy roads, on the highways, I can do it. We'll find out. It's gonna be part of the adventure. So I'm gonna see how quickly, basically, I can get from the northernmost area of Japan back down to Tokyo. Unless I decide I want to stop and see something interesting. So I checked out of the hotel room with the lady, and she's cool, man. Like, this lady is awesome. She remembered, like, the last time I checked out, she was like, "What's your name?" And I told her, and it turned out the same. She's like, "I can't understand this English. I don't have time for this." Blah blah blah. But she remembered how to write my name. Like, she didn't ask me again. She just wrote it on the receipt without even saying anything. So, yeah, this lady is cool, man. This is the lady I would chill with. So. Time to find a ride. I did just realize today is Sunday, so perhaps I will catch people that are heading long distances to go return from their weekend vacation or whatever, and that might help me make more ground. That's kind of what I'm hoping. Is there logic behind that at all? Would they be leaving Sunday morning though? I guess if they had to go a long way, they would. The city suffers from the issue for a hitchhiker that there are 2 southbound roads, because it's kind of the tip of a peninsula. So you have one southbound road going down one way and one southbound road going the other. And I have to choose which one I want to take. I don't really have any information on what to do, because I feel like a lot of the people that are going to be traveling a long way might take the coastal side that might have pretty views and stuff like that, and those might be the people that are like going a tremendous distance, and that would be the people that would be ideal for me to ride with today. But maybe local people would take the other road, because I think it's a bigger road, and maybe it's slightly more direct to go southbound. I don't know. So I feel like if I ask a local person like which road would be best, they might tell me that, but the better road for me might be the other, because non-local people are going to be taking it, and realistically non-local people are probably who I want to ride with. So I'm sitting here on the corner of the road. I'm gonna have a little bit of a snack before I grab a ride, and I'm watching license plates, and I'm seeing if license plates for long distances are going that direction or the other direction, and that's kind of what I'm gonna do, I think, to gauge that. But I mean, it doesn't mean, if you have a license plate from out of town, doesn't mean you're actually going south. Like, they could just be going to the coast or something. It doesn't mean anything. So I don't have any real way of like gathering the correct information. So it's gonna be a bit of a guess, but as always, it'll probably work out. Surprise, surprise, it's raining. What I decided to do is just sort of stand on the corner and show my sign to cars going both directions, which seems weird. Like, I wanna go south and both directions are south, kind of, eventually. Anyway, so I'm just standing here, and I'm sure people going like in the northern direction are like, that guy's showing the sign to the wrong people, but I don't think I am. Like, I don't know. Probably look crazy to about 30 or 40% of these people. But hopefully the fates will decide, and they'll just like, I'll just go in a direction. I've had to alter my location to a slightly less visible but much more dry place. I found a bridge to stand under that was across the street from where I was. At first it was sprinkling and that was okay, but then it's raining and that just starts to suck. I don't want to get in somebody's car all soggy, you know what I'm saying? This would be a lot of fun if it wasn't raining. I'm glad I didn't stay on that island last night. That would suck. I'd be on this island, like all rainy and whatnot. So I made the absolute right decision. Everything went awesome yesterday. All right, so this is a new one. This is very interesting, I guess. Well, to the situation to me, it was interesting. So I'm standing under the bridge and it's raining. And it's cold and windy. It's not a pleasant place, but it's okay. I can tolerate it. And this woman pulls up, and she's like, she stops, and I've got my sign that says southbound, basically. And she was like, okay, like, she's like, where are you going? And I was like, oh, I'm trying, I was basically like, I just said, like, I'm returning to Tokyo, so I just want to go south, like, Sapporo or whatever in that direction, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, okay, okay, okay. And she was like, well, where do you want to go? And I was like, well, south-ish. And there was a lot of confusion because, like, I'm assuming she's also going south because I'm holding a sign that says south, but she's not going south. She's just there. And I was like, well, hold on, where are you going? And she was like, I'm not going anywhere. And I was like, wait, what's happening here? And she was like, well, I can get you going in the southish direction, kind of, you know? I was like, okay, like, if you can take me, so I asked her, like, because I was at that point where the road can go two souths. It's like, what is the good south? She was like, I don't know. So I was calling a bunch of friends, can't get a hold of anybody. Eventually she's just like, let's go. I was like, okay, let's go. And she calls her sister, and she's like explaining to her sister the situation. And then she's like, okay, hold on a second, we're gonna stop. So we stop at her house, and I guess at her sister's house. And so the woman that picked me up turned out to be, she's 29, and she just got married, congratulations. And her sister is 16 and still lives with her parents, of course. So they stop at that house, and we stopped there, and she's like, we're gonna wait a couple minutes. And she was like, my sister's gonna come out. My sister likes English a lot. So when she comes out, let's just, you know, chat with her in English. Okay, no problem. That's easy for me. The girl driving speaks like no English at all. So her sister comes out and she's like, okay, I'm gonna drive you down to the coast and take you to Michinoeki or whatever. And that was the plan. And I don't know exactly what happened, but we never ended up at a Michinoeki. She just drove like for like an hour and a half. Like, and we're just, you know, I'm just chatting with her sister, and it's fun. We're having a good time. But it's like, she wasn't coming this way. She just like basically picked me up, and she was concerned about the weather. She was just like, you can't be out here in the weather. It's too wet, it's too blah, blah, blah. So she was concerned about that. But then once she put all these pieces together, she realized that she could turn it into just like English conversation time for her little sister, which I think is really awesome because, like, it's really obvious the bigger sister really cares about the little sister. And she knows her little sister is into English, and like knows like here's an opportunity for her to like speak with a native speaker. And she gave her little sister that gift in a way, like of just getting to, you know, chit chat with somebody that speaks native English, which is not that common from the impression that they gave me in Wakanai. The little sister goes to an English conversation school, but the teacher that she has is native Japanese speaker. Obviously she probably speaks English well. The 16-year-old girl's English was, for a 16-year-old girl in Japan, like in rural Japan, very good. So like good work, very cool. So it was a really cool experience for me, and I mean we just had the kind of like goofy time, just like rolling down the road, just talking about Justin Bieber and stuff, and how she wants to be a beautician and she wants to move to Los Angeles in the future when she gets out of high school and stuff. And it was really cool to just see, like, from their perspective of the universe, you know what I mean? Like, again, like, when would I have ever had that opportunity aside from if I had been standing on the road at that moment? Like, when would have I ever met those people and got to have that experience of just like rolling down the road and just BSing with some random Japanese girls, you know what I mean? Like, it is really, really cool. So I'm a little like worried that they drove me too far. I feel a little bad about it, but like she wasn't gonna leave me like in the middle of nowhere. And between Wakanai and where we're at, that's all there is. There's nothing else. Like, I was looking around like, man, if I get dropped off at a Michinoeki here, there's no other cars. Like, but she ended up driving me all the way into a town, and like totally awesome. And now she's gonna get to hang out with her little sister going back. So, and they were excited because there's no 7-Elevens in Wakanai, and we stopped at a 7-Eleven. They were like, yeah, we can go to 7-Eleven. So they were kind of excited about that. But I mean, it turned into a, I guess. I mean, I was like, you know, pretty careful about like, are you sure you have time? Is this okay? And she's like, I got nothing to do. I've got nothing to do. Not sure how much her sister was signed on for this, but she seemed like she was all right. We got to talk about, oh, so the little sister talked, really, she's really into America. She's like into like American pop music and movies and things like that. And she was showing me like her Instagram feed and something called, what was it called? Musical.ly? I've never even heard of this before. I'm too old for it. But it was funny. Like she has all these, she follows all these foreigners and stuff that sing like American songs and blah blah blah. And it was cool. Just like, you know, I mean, what, I don't know. I don't have a lot in common with a 16-year-old Japanese girl. You know, like maybe I have more than I'd like to admit in common. But anyway, like it's just cool to like, I don't know, what do you talk to a 16-year-old Japanese girl about? It's like talking to her about like her the applications she uses on her cell phone and stuff, you know? Like show me things that you don't know anything about, blah, 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 blah. Or that I don't know anything about, you know? So it was kind of interesting. But anyway, this is getting really long-winded at this point, but it was a cool experience. And I'm like not quite halfway to Sapporo, which is ridiculous. But like it's close to halfway. So I mean, I made a lot of ground with those incredibly nice girls. And from here, gonna keep heading south. I still don't even know where my end goal is tonight, but I think I'll just let fate decide. The best part about this town is there is only one road going south, so it alleviates me of any decisions. Just southbound and go. Well, that couldn't have gone better. That's a boat, y'all. So yeah, shortly after those girls dropped me off, I got picked up by a dude that was driving to the southern part of Hokkaido. And I'm not down in Hakodate. I had thought about going to Hakodate and spending a couple of days there, but this guy was like, dude, I can drive you all the way to the ferry port, like in Tomakomai. And that's the ferry port that I arrived to Hokkaido in. And I was just like, man, if you can take me to the ferry port, let's do that. So I'm gonna skip Hakodate. I'll save that for a trip with Katie or something in the future. So, I mean, we did a long way today. We did like 360 kilometers in like 4 hours, basically, between those two rides. But I mean, it took 2 rides, that was it. Today went phenomenally well from a hitchhiking point of view. And the guy that picked me up, he said he's hitchhiked around before, and like when I told him I was trying to get to the ferry port, it's further than he was gonna go, but he was like, man, I'll take you there. It's all good. So he drove me down here, and again, like amazing. And we were in the car together for quite a while, maybe 2.5, almost 3 hours with that guy. And it was cool because like we got to just, he was easy to talk to, and we got to talk about things like, again, it was like pushing the boundaries of my Japanese. Like when you get to talk with somebody for a while, they can start to understand like your limits and stuff, and then like the conversation gets easier, not because they're dumbing it down for you, but just because you're more comfortable as a person. Like with him, he understands you've already laid out your flaws. So it's like you're past that point, so now I can make mistakes and I can try new, like try to explain things that I've never talked about before, and it's comfortable. And he's like, he was a patient guy and he's listening. He's like, okay, I understand. And he was interested in like my grammatical mistakes and like why things were. He was like, yeah, why is that? Oh, that's gonna be loud, I think. And it was just a really cool conversation. And it was cool to hang out with this guy, and he's kind of adventurous. He went to Turkey a few years ago, and he likes to travel around Hokkaido, and he likes like all these other things. We had a lot in common, so it was awesome. And next step is to get a ferry ticket. The window is closed now, but the boat that's behind me is going to Sendai. I thought about going to Sendai. That would get me closer to Tokyo. I'm gonna try to get home tomorrow. I don't know if it's possible from Hachinoe, where I'll end up on the other side of this boat ride, but I think it's within the realm of possibility. If it goes to anything like today, it'll be no problem. I'll be home by noon. But this boat's going to Sendai, so I asked the girl, I was like, yo, how much are tickets to Sendai, just out of curiosity? And she was like, ooh, the cheapest tickets are sold out. So I'm a little bit concerned I might run into that problem with the boat to Hachinoe too. So since the cheapest tickets to Sendai are sold out, I'm not going to Sendai. It's too expensive. So I've got to wait for this window to open and then hopefully be first in line and hope they didn't get like pre-sold out. And if all that works out, then I'll be on a boat here in a few hours that arrives really early in the morning on the other side, like before 5 a.m. Which I'm thinking maybe I'll try to hop a ride with one of the truckers or something. Maybe that would work, and that would get me moving really early. Otherwise, I'm gonna be waiting for everybody to wake up and get on the road, and that could kill some time. But I'm still gonna aim for Tokyo tomorrow. I might miss. I've also decided to try to start like a radio blackout for Katie, because I think it would be pretty fun to surprise her. I don't think she thinks that it's possible that I could be home like that quickly. Even if it's the day after tomorrow, I think it'll be a surprise. So it'll be fun if I can pull that off. We'll find out. There were some bikers here earlier and they were harassing Pepper. I about got in a fight, man. I was gonna throw down. You can't screw with Pepper. Peppa. Oh man, that's weird. Shoo. Alright, it's about 5 a.m. We just got to the ferry terminal and we're quite a ways away from the highway. So what I'm trying to do is get out to the road before the cars that are leaving the boat get to the road. I've got a sign that says highway. And I'm gonna see if I can try to get a ride with somebody who just got off the boat, because otherwise I have no idea how I'm gonna catch a ride. There's not gonna be anybody going by. Like it's gonna be way too early. Last night I hung out with a couple of drunk truckers and a Japanese dude who's starting to hitchhike today. And he had a lot of questions about like, how? He was like, it's like, oh, okay, cool, it's good to talk to somebody who's done it. And I was like, dude, there's no problem. There's like some construction or something here. Shit, I gotta get to the road. And the drunk truckers explained that truckers never pick me up because they'll get fined. Like insurance stuff and blah, blah, blah. So that explains that. Other than that, the ferry ride was just like the other ferry ride. Really nice. Sleeping in a room with a whole bunch of people. And I hit the onsen twice this time because why not? Anyway, I gotta get a ride. So I'll update everybody later. All right, so I did not get a ride from the cars leaving the ferry. It was dark. All those people are sleepy. It's 5 a.m. It never works. Like, it's just too early. Like, people are like, I don't want to deal with no honkies at 5 a.m. You know what I mean? So, oh, look at this flower. That's pretty. Anyway, so the problem is that the highway is like 10 kilometers away from the ferry port, of course. And I want to get on the big highway because I want to make a lot of ground today. So step one is to get to the highway. The good thing is it's so damn early. I'm walking that direction. I'm not missing a whole lot of traffic. So it's not that big of a deal. But on my way out of the ferry port, I didn't get a ride. And the guy that was hitchhiking from his first day today, he's from Hokkaido. And we caught up and we ended up walking for a while. And like, so there's this hierarchy when you hitchhike, and I've seen this online, and it totally makes sense. Like, the likelihood of getting picked up is highest if you're a single woman, and then maybe if you're two girls, and then if you're a single guy, and then like if you're a girl and a guy, and then if you're a single guy, like it's de-escalates down this line, and the very last one on the rung is more than one guy. People don't pick up more than one guy. More than one guy is like kind of threatening. More than one guy doesn't fit in your little Japanese car, etc. So, like, this guy is kind of like, he's just chilling with me. He just, you know, he's just chilling. Nice guy. But I'm kind of like trying to make a lot of ground today. And there's two guys trying to catch a ride right now. You know what I mean? Well, not right now, but a few minutes ago. And eventually we got to a point where he was going a different direction, and he's going to just go along the coast along normal, like, normal non-highway roads, and I need to get to the highway. So he's already at the road he needs to hitchhike off of, and I'm gonna go a lot further to try to get to that big road. But I would say it wasn't wasted time because like 10 cars went by because it was 5 in the morning. But it was also kind of like trying to get my groove going here, bro. But whatever. Dude was really nice, and he's gonna try to make it to Osaka and then back to Hokkaido in 10 days hitchhiking. That's gonna be a lot of moving, but I hope he makes it. Meanwhile, I am still trying to catch a ride to the highway, which is complex because there's more than one highway around here. But if somebody stops, I can at least tell them, hey, this is the highway I want to go to. I'm going to go to Tokyo, and they're going to know where Tokyo is, so it shouldn't be too confusing. It's also just occurred to me that I'm back on Honshu, where there's no place to pull off on the side of the road for cars. I was right about that in Hokkaido. There's tons of space. It's really easy for people to pull over. And here, that's just like an added little twist of a challenge. Some little fog over this city and this river looks really cool to me right now. Well, that's the entrance to the highway right there, and I'm real happy because I'm here. Saved me a lot of time. There's a school teacher stopped. She is a school teacher for elementary students, and she was on her way to school, and she was like, oh, it's really lucky that I get up really early and have to go to work because I got to pick you up and give you a ride. And I was like, you're right about that. So now I'm at the entrance, and there's actually a little bus stop here. Usually you're not allowed to be here as a pedestrian, but I think since there's a bus stop, I should be all right. So I'm gonna get me a sign. Gotta decide what to write on it. Maybe just Minami, south? I don't know. I need to look at the map and see if there's more than one south. And hopefully it won't be too long before cars start coming along. Yeah. I don't know what time it is. It's before 7. It's like 6:30 or something like that. So I'm doing all right. I think it's like an 8 or 9 hour drive if you don't stop to get to Tokyo. So that makes it realistic to get there today. That would be probably my longest, that would be definitely my furthest day. But if I get into the highway system, I just will make sure I don't get off of it, and I think that then I can cook with bacon. This really does raise the question is, why is there a bus stop here? Like, for what purpose would this exist other than hitchhiking? If you don't have a car, you can't walk either direction from where I'm at, so I don't understand why anybody would ever need a bus to get here that wouldn't be in a car, besides for me, who didn't use a bus. There's nothing here. There's no access. Okay, hey, there's access to a little walkway there, but it just seems like a really out of place for a bus to take. I don't know, why wouldn't the bus go up there? I'm dying to know now. Maybe it's for the people that work at the thing? People don't work at the thing, it's automated, I think. Maybe there's some people there. I don't know, but it still seems like those people probably have cars. I am slightly going to be suffering from lack of vehicles, I believe. It's looking a little grim at the moment, but it's still pretty early. That is really hard to film. Well, it's just after 10 a.m. and I have done about 300 kilometers. This dude picked me up and he was heading all the way to Sendai, and he was like, I'll give you a ride to Sendai. And I waited for maybe 20 minutes or something outside of that last area. It wasn't that long at all. And he's returning home from, he had worked over the weekend up in Hachinohe, and he was going home to Sendai. So he was like, yeah, I'll give you a ride all the way to Sendai. So I'm in Sendai now. Or I'm outside of Sendai, but I'm in a service area, or parking area. Service area? Parking area? I don't know. Parking area, I guess. There's no gas station. I think that's what it is. Service areas have got gas stations. Parking areas just have parking areas and sometimes little restaurants. So anyway, yeah, I guess I'm gonna just guess off the top of my head, maybe a third of the way to Tokyo now, and it's 10 a.m. So I think I'll make it today. I think I'll make it back to Tokyo. If I don't, I'll be surprised, but it still is quite a long distance. The guy that picked me up was really cool, really chatty. Like, we had a really fun conversation. He works for a kaiten sushi chain, so like what is it called? The merry-go-round sushi things, like those restaurants. And it's a big chain. There's one in Ikebukuro, like near where we live, and there's like 300 of them, or 300 of them in the country. So he said, he didn't explain exactly what his job was, but I got the impression like maybe like regional manager or something like that. And he gets to go to different stores, I think, and like, you know, keep an eye on them and stuff. And that's kind of what he had explained to me. So some sort of like regional district manager type situation of some sort. But yeah, it was fun, and I want to cook more bacon. I keep saying that because Katie, I think she laughs at me because of how lame that phrase is, cooking the bacon, like meaning you're going fast. So I want to keep, let's see, I can use it there. I want to keep hauling the mail. So I'm going to get another sign up and see if I can catch a ride. I just realized how hungry I am, so before I put my sign up, I'm gonna have a snack, and I have bad news. Calorie mates, y'all. I picked up a couple of these a couple of days ago. One is plain I'm gonna save plain for like super emergency situations. And one is fruit flavor. Fruit? I'm not really excited about this either. But I didn't sleep well I slept okay on the boat last night, but just not for a very long time because I was hanging out with these drunk truckers, and it was kind of a late thing. And then when I finally laid down, it took me a while to fall asleep, and I got up in the middle of the night and realized that I went to Hokkaido, and one of my main objectives was to see stars. And because it's been cloudy for the entire month, I never really got a chance. I'm sure I had a chance and I just didn't realize it, but I never saw stars. So I woke up in the middle of the night, like 2 in the morning on that boat, and I was like, I bet I could go outside and see some stars right now. Because, you know, far away from land, usually clouds aren't so heavy and there'd be no like natural light at all. So I was like, this could be a very cool opportunity. Went outside, clouds, so I didn't get to see it. And then I had trouble falling asleep again, not a lot, but anyway. When I'm tired, if I eat, I'm fine. So I'm gonna keep eating so that I can maintain like a chirpy personality riding with people. Because if you're gonna catch a ride with somebody, you don't want to be a grump. You know what I mean? Like you want to have a good time with them. So I don't want to fall off that wagon. So I'm gonna jump into some fruits, Calorie Mate. I hope you guys are more excited for this than I am. I noticed at some point, I don't think I explained this, but there's nuts like in the Calorie Mate. You can see those little chunks. I guess it's nuts, I don't know. Maybe it's just stuffs. It doesn't taste like fruit, I don't think. I don't know. I guess kind of. Ooh, it's bitter. Oh, this is the worst one. This is worse than the chocolate one. So far, I think maple was my favorite. I mean, I don't know if I would say favorite, but the least repulsive. Oh, this one's really bad. Oh God. It's like on the back sides of your tongue, just like attacking it. It's just like brutalizing my taste buds. Oh God. Should have gone with plain. Do you remember when I went and I arrived in Hokkaido and I was like, oh, the weather is like so crisp. Man, it's thick here. It's like really humid. It's like, I'm noticing it, let's put it that way. You can cut it, it's like the Calorie Mate of weather. You need a drink of water and you go down with it, you know what I'm saying? It's been almost an hour now and I've had a reasonable stream of cars. It hasn't been dead, but it hasn't been like a constant flow. But I haven't even had a nibble. Like not even like a eyebrow raise, you know what I'm saying? Like not even a shake on the line. And I'm beginning to think that maybe Sendai is a black hole of hitchhiking. I had a hell of a time getting out of here last time and I'm near Sendai now, so maybe there's just something about Sendai, like you will stay here forever. Alright, I've moved another, I don't know, hour and a half maybe? I'm really not clear. I'm really kind of getting tired. So things are kind of, time is just kind of lost on me at the moment. But I'm down the road, I'm just north of Fukushima now. And a woman picked me up. It took me a while to get a ride to that last place. Like I said, I think Sendai is a black hole of hitchhiking. So I made it quite a ways. A woman did pick me up. She has like a lot of foreign friends and stuff, and she's studying English, and we actually went and we got lunch together at a rest stop that she said she frequents all the time because she goes back and forth up and down this highway all the time. So we stopped and I got a Sendai style, Sendai miso flavored tonkatsu, I think it was, and it was like a donburi, so on rice, so that's why I ordered it. Basically I like miso as well, and the miso was pretty distinct tasting. It was good. And now I am getting closer and closer to Tokyo. I need to catch another ride, and she has dropped me off at a service area which has a lot more people at it, so hopefully it'll be a little faster than it was last time. But if it's not, you know, I'll still keep going. It's not a big deal. I'm just like, I'm having, my ability to Japanese is degrading as I get tireder and tireder. So I was happy that she spoke some English, so we were able to divide the load a little bit on the language usage, and it was a good time. Always is. The first time that I drove north out of the Tokyo area with my friend Tommy and Emma, and we went with Tommy's parents up to a place north of Sendai. We drove along the highway, and part of that drive you get to look over the valley and you get to see Fukushima. And it's the city, it's not the coast where the nuclear power plant is, but it was just seeing it, because in my head, like before I saw that, like Fukushima's a scary word, but seeing the valley with the city in it from the highway, really, it's very pretty, and you get a really good view of it from here. And I just kind of want to share that with everybody, so that maybe your image, like of Fukushima, if it's this scary place, can be transformed a little bit the way that mine was when I first saw this beautiful view. Also, I'm not in Hokkaido anymore, so it's sunny. To be honest, I prefer the clouds at the moment because it's pretty warm. All right, let's see if we can do this. Tokyo. I completely forgot to explain this. It just occurred to me that it's important that I document this. So those drunken truck drivers I hung out with on the ferry yesterday, there was two of them, right? And they said they were from Hokkaido, and one of the guys said he was from, is it Obihiro or Abihiro? Obihiro, I think. I'm so tired. Obihiro is where I went to see those, the horse race with the gigantic horses, and they were pulling the sleighs through the gravel and all that, right? And I mentioned that I went to that, and one of the guys just kind of looked kind of stern at me, and I was like, what? Like, because he said he had lived near that area, right? That's why I had mentioned it. And he was like, I was like, what? And he was like, he says in English, no comment. I was like, and his friend loses it. And I was like, what? And it's like, they have a secret. And his friend is like, his friend goes, he used to be a jockey until he got as fat as the horses. And they lost it, man. The guy wasn't very fat, but he was probably too big to be a jockey. But I mean, it was a really funny situation. But yeah, I met a jockey for one of those things. It was pretty cool. He was really, really drunk and didn't have a lot to say about the experience, except for that he used to be skinny and now he can't do it. It's like about 6:20 on the outskirts of Tokyo right now, and I'm at a train station. It's getting dark. And I didn't hitchhike directly out of Tokyo. Remember, I jumped out of Tokyo on a train because the road system is really, really complex, and there's no chance of like being able to like easily hitchhike out of that city without like a luck from God. Like a gift from God would help you with that, and that's about it. And it's kind of go the same way going in. The train system is so extensive. It's just like, if you get a ride anywhere in the area of Tokyo, it's like, just take me to a train station and then I'll figure out my life from there. So that's what's happened. And my last ride took me, I don't think we were in the car together for a long time, 3.5 hours or something. And he's a drummer. But he doesn't, I saw, when I got in his car, I saw a drum throne. I was like, oh, you're a drummer? And he's like, yeah, I'm a drummer. And I was like, oh, cool. And then I asked him what kind of music he plays, and he puts on this music that's like raindrops, kind of. It's amazing sounding. It's really cool, like drumming. I was like, wait, that's not drums I know. And it turns out it's like some sort of Swiss instrument. It's kind of like modern. And I think it's called I'm confused because it's a Swiss word, and he told it to me in Japanese, and then he spelled it in English, and it's H-A-N-G, I think. Hong drum? I'm not sure how to say it right, but anyway, so he travels around Japan playing this instrument, and he's got albums and stuff, and he actually gave me one of his albums that we had listened to in the car, so it's just amazing. So we hung out with him, I hung out with him for a while, and then on the way back, he'd been on tour, and he had forgotten something at one of the, he played at like a little, kind of like a hippie-ish restaurant, like it's kind of out in the woods in Tochigi, I think, Fukushima area. And he had forgotten something there when he played there, so he was like, hey, I'm gonna stop by there and pick up this stuff I forgot. So we went in, and the people that worked there were like ridiculously friendly and nice. And they gave us some matcha and some like kibidango type little treat, and he got the drum out of his car and showed it to me, and he played it, and I can actually drop that footage in here, and it's really cool, just like the overtones and the way that the instrument sounds, and it kind of like echoes out really cleanly and everything, and the way he plays it is so smooth and stuff. It was a really cool experience. It was cool to see. So, like, again, like another like flawless moment. My hitchhiking is done. Like I'm gonna take a train back home. Like I'm done with the hitchhiking. So I've been hitchhiking for a month, over a month, and I've been to like a ton of places and met a zillion people that I would never have gotten the opportunity to meet otherwise. It's been an unbelievable experience. And like hitchhiking is kind of like a scary word, I think, and I can, without a doubt, guarantee that it's not scary in Japan. Like nothing. The only bad thing that happened to me on this entire trip, like legitimately bad, was that I lost my own wallet. Like that's my fault. Like nothing bad came of the hitchhiking. Not one time. Nothing. Not, I would say, not even like awkward conversation. Like I had one guy that was a little strange, but I mean it was still like an amusing conversation. But I mean I didn't even have like a conversation with somebody that I can recall that was like, oh, I want this to end. Like it didn't happen at all. So I don't know. Like it was just like I don't even have the words to express like how awesome that was. And I'm gonna be on the train here for a while. I was really hoping that I was going to beat Katie home, or maybe even get there early enough to meet her outside of her work, but it's not gonna happen. She's getting off work in like 2 minutes, so I don't even know if I'll beat her home. I don't know if she's going straight home tonight. I haven't talked to her because my radio blackout, because I want to surprise her. So I'm not really clear when we're gonna run into each other, but I'm looking forward to it. So on the train ride home, I'm not quite home yet. I actually am just walking from Ikebukuro because I got a message. I figured out how to trick Katie into telling me when she would be home without her knowing that I'm here. So I know she'll be home at a certain time, so I'm gonna try to wait for her at the train station and hope that I can surprise her there. Anyway, so on my walk home, I've been thinking about like this trip, and like the most amazing part about this is, so when I was on Reibun Island a couple days ago, yesterday, a couple days ago, I don't know, I had gotten a ride with a guy, and he drove me all around the island and showed me everything, and basically like did an entire tour of the island in 3 hours, something that would have taken me a long time on my own, like a couple of days or something, like if I had to use a bicycle or something like that, or walking and like all that stuff. So. And I ended up learning a lot more about the island just by virtue of meeting him and him being able to explain things like as a local to me and all that. So that experience like really like compressed a lot of information into a short time period. It was like just getting like a huge injection of information and amazingness. And I kind of feel like as a trip in general, that's like kind of what happened to me. I feel like just getting to, I met so many people. Like I don't even have a guess how many rides I had. Like people ask me, oh, how many cars did you ride in? I couldn't even give a rough ballpark. It's just like, it's a lot. And I've met like sometimes more than one person in each car. And then like I've met people at guest houses, and I've met people, and I've met people, and I've met people, and I've met people. And it's been a opportunity to like learn a tremendous amount about the people that live in Hokkaido, and just like Japanese people in general. Like I learned, basically what I guess I'm getting to is, I feel like in the last 4 weeks, I learned more about Japan than I knew from the last 5 years. And I mean, I don't know if that's like really true, but that's how it feels. Like it just feels like I got this incredible boost in information, and it's amazing. Another aspect of this was like, part of the reason I wanted to do this was just like to challenge my Japanese. And I don't know if I got better technically at Japanese, but I certainly am a lot less shy about just throwing words out there and making it work. Like just pushing through and be like, oh, here we go, we're gonna get through this. I don't know how to talk about this, we're gonna figure it out. So like, you know, I'm a lot more comfortable with that. And I mean, in a sense, that's getting better, but like, has my grammar increased or has my vocabulary increased? It's so difficult to judge that. I'm not 100% sure, but my ability to communicate has certainly increased. At the same time, I'm very aware of how bad my Japanese is, and I'm very aware of what I need to work on, which is a good thing. Like, I never thought my Japanese was amazing, but like, it's I have these huge flags now. I know what to aim for. I know what to work on. I know where to fix. And that's like kind of refreshing in a way, to be honest with you. And I also wanted to like discuss, like, some people are going to be like, oh, I don't speak Japanese, but I want to try to do this. Like, is it like something I'm going to be able to do? And totally you could. Like, keep in mind that like 90% of the people that I was in cars with spoke, if they spoke English, they didn't tell me. Like, it would be bare bones communication if you didn't speak Japanese in the areas that I went. Like, I was in the countryside. So maybe if you stayed more in Honshu, or you were like, you know, traveling around, you know, Tokyo area and like between Tokyo and Osaka and stuff, you might have a lot of people that speak English. I can't really vouch for that. I assume so, but up in Hokkaido, like, it got to the point where like they're like, I'm pretty sure these people spoke like very, very little, if any, English at all. So your experience would be different. Not bad, just different. And even if you couldn't write like kanji and stuff on the sign, if you just wrote it in English, people, even people that can't speak English can read that. They will know what that means. They know the name of like towns around them in English. They're gonna be able to read it. So don't worry about that either. Point being is, if you don't speak Japanese, don't let that stop you. However, if you do speak Japanese, it's going to really enrich in the experience, like a lot. And I guess that's like the whole thing. Now I kind of feel like, I feel oddly emotional right now. Like, when we came back from our trip around the world, I felt kind of like it was overwhelming to go home. And since then we've gone on little trips and we've come home, and it's been, you know, okay, you're going home, you know, you get that feeling, but not like this is different, because I feel like I just did something pretty big, and to just be putting an end on that, and I don't, it's a little strange to do that, and it's weird that I'm about to see Katie. I got pretty excited about that, so it's like an emotional like ball of all these different feelings and stuff. So oh, you know what? I have one more. I have one last thing. One last thing. Let's see if I can get it. My bag is a disaster right now. I've just been jamming things in it. I'm gonna have to do it, guys. This is the plane. I'm starving. I haven't eaten since I ate lunch with the lady that gave me a ride towards Fukushima today. So I'm gonna have to try to one-hand this one. They're a little crumbled. This is, it just exploded everywhere. Gross. Gross. I've got plain calorie mate in my bag everywhere. It needs a bath anyways. Here it is. It cannot be worse than fruit. It tastes like nothing. It tastes like a boring butter cookie, like with no sugar. You know? Maple is the best, fruits is the worst. This is substance. Oh man. All right, let's go find Katie. I'd also like to point out that it took me maybe like 35 hours, I'm gonna ballpark, to get from Wakanai to Tokyo, hitchhiking, with ferry ride of course. But like, that's how long it takes. I feel like I could have done it faster if I'd gotten picked up quicker a couple times, but pretty much that has to be some sort of like reasonable, like maybe not the top record, but it's gotta be in the top like 10 or something, right? How many people have done it, that was the question. Like in a straight shot. Sometimes when I'm in the city, I wait for Katie when she gets off work, and I never tell her, I just surprise her. And I'm sitting exactly where I would be waiting for her under those normal circumstances. So hopefully she's gonna come around this corner here in just a minute. It's fun, I don't know when she's gonna get here, so it's like she's gonna surprise me too. Is the suspense killing you too? She told me she was going to play drums, and there's a slight chance she went to a different place than what I think she went to, which would mean she was going home a different direction. I hope that's not happening. But if it does, then I'll just have to go home and surprise her. She probably thinks somebody's breaking in to kill her though. Squeaker's coming in. There she is. You called it? What? What?
Coming down the stairs. But I was like, he's been kind of mysterious. And he asked about all these times. Maybe.
Oh man.
I always figure out the big things.
Oh, do you?
Sometimes.
Yeah. What if I hadn't been here?
I would have kept walking.
You would have called it tomorrow, and then called it the next day. Kept calling it until you called it.
Exactly. Works every time.
Hello. Goodbye. Hey everybody, so that was the last hitchhiking video, and I've actually got some notes here. I went through and I've counted up.
Notes.
I counted up some stuff that I thought was interesting regarding the hitchhiking video series, and so this is part 27. So the whole thing was 27 episodes, and I went through and counted up how much time that you would take to like watch the entire series without the end cards, because I think that like the end cards aren't necessarily the content that's involved.
Had to do some calculating there.
Yeah, so I went through and I looked that up, and if you were watching only the content that was created like while I was in Hokkaido, then it breaks out to 14 hours and 20 minutes. So that's
amazing entertainment.
That's a fairly long series. So if you made it this far, I'm really proud of you. Like that's a hefty commitment.
We've honestly heard like some people just say, "Oh, I really like watching that series."
Yeah. I'm sure if anybody is
cool.
watching all the way to this point, they're probably those people that have quite enjoyed it.
That's a good
I doubt
point.
anybody is. If anybody's sitting there like, "God, this has sucked," and they're still watching, like then I'm even more impressed, to be completely honest.
Haters gonna hate, but they're gonna watch.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's the internet. It's a crazy world. Maybe somebody's fetish is being angry at me, like hitchhiking around, making videos without you. Who knows? Anything's a possibility.
Are they angry, like they hate you, or they really like me a lot?
I don't know. I think that they probably, maybe both.
Who is
I could
this
see this
person?
both. They have rage boners. So
Don't we all?
let's get back into the stats here, because we've gotten a little off course with the rage boners. And so the distance that I went, this is a fairly accurate but not exact number. It was really impossible to tell, but the distance that I hitchhiked was 3,693 kilometers, which works out to be 2,295 miles, which is a bit shy of the width of the entire United States, but it's kind of almost that way. And if you probably...
Are you at least getting from Virginia to California?
Just about.
If it was the edge of Virginia
probably.
And like the beginning of California?
Probably would just about make that. So it's not the entire width of the United States, but it's really close. If that gives you an idea of how far I went. So I mean, I went from Tokyo all the way up and all the way back. And I took out the bit of area that I train rode to get out of Tokyo and back into Tokyo. So I did I did calculate that a little bit. And then the interesting part for me as well, I counted all the rides that I took, and I don't think I missed any. And it was 68 rides in cars. So that was breaking that down. It averages out to 34 miles per car. So I don't know. I thought that was really cool. So it was about 5 weeks that the whole thing took. So I don't know. I thought that these numbers were kind of fun, and I want to share them with everybody. And the other thing that's notable is most of the people that are watching this today, if they're watching it when it was put up, I left 1 year ago today. Like I'm gonna put this up on the 1 year anniversary of me leaving. So it took me a year to produce the entire video series, basically.
Happy hike-iversary.
Yeah, thank you. Like it's August 2nd, I think, was the day that I left. So we're shooting this a couple days in advance. And yeah, I don't know. Thanks for enjoying the series and everything. And I'm not even going to bother plugging all the stuff that needs to be plugged.
Thank you for coming home.
I did come home.
I'm glad that you had a good time, but yeah, I was happy that you came home.
Yeah, I'm thinking about going on another trip. What do you think about that?
I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I'm really busy at work, so I won't get to go, but...
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I don't know if anybody has any ideas of things that maybe I could shake this up a little bit. I think that this series was a little bit much about the explanation of things that were going on and not quite enough. Like,
what angles were you interested in? What did you enjoy watching about it that wasn't just about hitchhiking and the practice of hitchhiking?
Yeah.
What would you like to see more of?
I wouldn't focus the next series on the hitchhiking aspect, I don't think. I think it would be more like Eric goes to this place and Eric goes to that place, and try to focus a little bit more on the activities and stuff that were going on as opposed to the experience of hitchhiking. I think that has value, but I think I probably have covered that at this point. So if you guys have any feedback or anything on like what maybe I could do to expand or contract, maybe make it like more compact or whatever, or like what would you like to see in the future from a series that's similar to this where Katie isn't involved, then let me know. But we also need to shoot some things together, so we have stuff to do.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
And now that this is over, I can start editing the Hong Kong series.
Hong Kong!
Thanks, everyone.